Hi everyone, my name's Anthony Cummins and today we're going to talk about is the katana the wrong length? Before I go into that, could you get a copy of How to Be a Modern Samurai 10 Steps to Finding Your Power and Achieving Success by me, Anthony Cummins. Every sale helps. Coming up to Christmas, buy one as a gift. Thank you very much for supporting if you do. Right, we train with katana as samurai enthusiasts in the West, but are we using the wrong size katana in relation to Japanese people? Now, Japanese people today are equally as tall to the Westerners. And if you don't believe me, I've been to Japan lots of time. 20 years ago, when I first started going, or thereabouts, they were small. Now they are not. The average person who's about 20 is taller than I am. So times have changed. But in the medieval period, in the early periods, the average height of a Japanese man was 5 feet. Or 5 feet 2 inches thereabout. Now we know this from medieval documentation, which says you should build a trench 3 feet shallow and use the soil to make a mound of 2 feet high. This gives you a 5 shaku trench and shield to cover the average height of every Japanese person, 5 feet. But we have also looked at skeletal evidence, and the average height, which this is not secret information, this is well known in Japan. The average height of a Sengoku period person is around 5 foot, 5'2" from skeletal remains. So that means if a katana is on average, now I know the lengths of Japanese swords depend and change and times changes, but as an average, the length of Japanese katana is 60 centimeters to 80 centimeters, roughly thereabouts. So that means a 5 foot person is using a 2-3 foot sword. Well, I'll put this on screen. So basically, the way they train or attack will be different to a person who is 6 foot training with the same size weapon. So I'm working in feet because I'm British. But it also makes it easier because basically, if the average Japanese person in the samurai era was 5 feet tall, and the average person in the West is around 6 feet tall. That gives you a difference of 1/6. Okay, so if you are going to take a 60 centimeter katana, I've got the numbers here. 1/6 of 60 is 10, and so adding a sixth onto 60 centimeters is actually 70 centimeters. Now I've got the numbers here because I had to do the calculations before. 1/6 of 70 is 11.6, which makes the blade length 81.6, and 1/6 of 80 is 13.3, which makes it a blade length of 93.3 centimeters. So that means that, let's just take the middle range. If somebody was going to use a 70 centimeter Japanese sword as historical training, they should technically be using, if they are 6 feet tall, an 81.6 centimeter blade. This would be a true representation of what it was like to be a 5 foot man using a 70 centimeter sword, or a 5 foot man using an 80 centimeter sword or a 60 centimeter sword. We should then adjust that to 70, 81 and 93 centimeters. So what do you think, guys? This originally came out from Jim White, who gave me this as an idea. I have genuinely and honestly thought of this before, and I'm sure many of you have, but it was just when Jim said it in a video of mine a few days ago, I was like, oh, the length, I must do a video on that. So I said he would. So big thanks to Jim White, who put the message out there of this, and I've done the maths today. If I've got anything wrong with the maths, please let me know. I'm not a maths expert. I'm usually right. I've not done maths in school 25 years ago, but I sorted that out. So guys, what do you think? For us to be training and realistically train the same way that a samurai would do, we would have to adjust our swords by roughly 1/6 of their overall length. Okay, now we know for a fact that Japanese people used longer and shorter katana. We know this because Miyamoto Musashi complains about it. He says people started to go to long katana. He says useless. I've got historical documentation from the Book of Samurai series that says don't go out with a long katana. Your arm will be knackered by the end of a battle. Go for a shorter one. And in Heika Joran, the manual from Book of Samurai, it says when you're going to market, use a shorter katana, because if you've got to fight in crowds, you don't want a long thing. You need to basically pull it in short. So we know that the samurai had short and long katana within this, I'm assuming 60 to 80 centimeter frame. So there you go, guys. What do you think? Pass this video around. Let me know what you think below. Should we start changing the way we train, or the length of the blade we train in, to more represent a better idea of how samurai used to train? Okay, guys, don't forget, get yourself this copy of How to Be a Modern Samurai. My name's Anthony Cummins. Subscribe, like, pass around, enjoy, and tell me what